Howdy, Brazos Valley, and welcome to Countdown to the Cotton Bowl. Tomorrow night, Texas A&M will be making their 13th Cotton Bowl appearance, the first since the 2010 season. 2 years ago, the Aggies were members of the Big 12 and faced LSU of the SEC. This year, the Aggies are representing the SEC and facing Oklahoma of the Big 12. News 3's Cody Coyle and John Wilson have been in the Metroplex this week, getting us ready for tomorrow night's Cotton Bowl.
Thanks, Daryl. It has been a business-type attitude for the Aggies this week. They've had a lot of distractions since the end of the season with the Heisman Trophy ceremony, the College Football Awards show, and, of course, the All-American honors that came the team's way.
But Johnny Manziel hasn't let all this newfound fame go to his head. He has his team grounded and focused solely on the Aggies picking up their first 11-win season since 1998. We'll have much more from Dallas coming up a little bit later in the show.
Thanks, guys. We kick things off with a look back at all the changes that have taken place leading into the 2012 season. A new coach, a new conference, and a renewed excitement. Here's News 3's Shane McAuliffe.
As A&M prepared for their first year in the Southeastern Conference, fans didn't know what to expect. But the one thing that was plentiful in Aggie land was hype.
SEC! SEC!
Football fever was at a fever pitch, and with the arrival of the ESPN Game Day crew and the Florida Gators, the Aggies kicked off their most anticipated season in the school's history. Game, a freshman quarterback named Johnny Manziel emerged after putting up 251 yards of offense in a 3-point loss. But things were just getting started.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style.
Over the next 5 games, the Aggies offense and Manziel found their stride. First with a 48-3 win over SMU. South Carolina State didn't stand a chance after A&M hung 70 points on the Bulldogs. Arkansas was a 58-10 cakewalk, and the Aggies offense started getting some national attention as the Aggies prepared for their first SEC road game. Ole Miss would provide Texas A&M a challenge, but a Johnny Manziel touchdown pass to Ryan Swope with 1:46 left in the game proved to be the game winner and the start of the Johnny football craze. A strong Louisiana Tech team gave A&M a scare, but thanks to another incredible offensive output, the Aggies escaped with a 59-57 win, setting up the Aggies' next big test, LSU.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
The 6th-ranked Tigers got their tail pulled in the first quarter after A&M took an early 12-0 lead, but it wasn't enough. A 24-0 run by LSU gave A&M their second loss on the season, but the team's incredible run was about to get started.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck.
With the complete dismantling of Auburn, A&M looked like a team getting the frustrations of the LSU game off their backs. Mississippi State provided a challenge as the 15th-ranked team in the country, but the Aggies cruised to a 38-13 win. That's when the game every Aggie across the country had circled on their calendar was set to kick off. The Aggies traveled to Alabama to take on the #1 team in the country, and A&M was ready. Johnny football and crew jumped ahead 20-0, and it provided Manziel with his Heisman moment and a play that will be remembered forever. It was the defining moment of the season as A&M defeated the Crimson Tide on their home turf, 29-24. Wins against Sam Houston State and Missouri were expected and easily accomplished, giving A&M a 10-2 record on the year, the Aggies' best season since 1998. Now the Aggies await the Cotton Bowl, where they'll face off with a familiar foe, Oklahoma.
Welcome back to Countdown to the Cotton Bowl. As surprising as it was to those outside the Bright Complex that Texas A&M produced a 10-win season and earned a trip to the Cotton Bowl, how improbable was it that a redshirt freshman named Johnny Manziel would make Heisman history as the first freshman to ever win that award? News 3's Josh Myatt relives that moment in Aggie football history.
This group of individuals have no chance. You're going up against the biggest thing in the world. All odds are against you. Everybody's saying you have no chance. So I watched the movie 300 that says,
give them nothing, but take from them everything.
This is a moment that I've dreamed about since I've been a kid. Running around the backyard pretending I was Doug Flutie throwing Hail Marys to my dad.
He makes guys around him better. That it just doesn't usually work out in the negative.
Like I told you, Johnny football is nothing to play with. The kid's unbelievable. I just don't know how to stop him.
We've seen the highlights, and there have been very, very many highlights.
Heisman, give it to him.
Oh, no, they didn't. Oh, my gracious. How about that?
And now, the 2012 winner of the Heisman Memorial Trophy is Johnny Manziel.
The 12th man is one of the greatest traditions in all of college football. 40,000 students standing not as fans, but as members of our team. To the 12th man, to Texas A&M, this Heisman Trophy is for you. Giggle.
Seeing that billboard light up on Times Square was really neat. Wouldn't you agree, Cody?
That's right, Daryl. Johnny Heisman took center stage right there on Times Square. Now, this year's Cotton Bowl gives Oklahoma a chance at redemption. Like the Aggies, the Sooners come into the contest with a 10-2 record. Both of their losses came to teams with Heisman finalists, Notre Dame and Kansas State. Now the Sooners get a shot at the Heisman winner, Johnny Manziel. The 2012 Oklahoma Sooners are about to become the first team since the 1993 Florida Gators to face all of the Heisman finalists in one season. While the Gators beat Alabama's David Palmer and Tennessee's Heath Shuler and lost to Heisman winner Charlie Ward that season, the Sooners are still looking for their first win against a Heisman finalist.
You know, it's a great opportunity for us, you know, and we're 0-2 against the first two. So, you know, hopefully we can change that on Friday.
All those guys are great players, Manti, and then, you know, that's the guy I got a chance to see the most of. But those other two quarterbacks are extremely great players, too. And it's a big test for us, you know, as a coaching staff, as a team, to go out there and play the way we're capable of in a great environment and with the entire nation watching.
Despite their recent lack of success against Heisman finalists, the Sooners say they're up for the challenge and ready to take on Johnny football.
You know, we've played against a lot of guys, you know, have been in the, you know, the finalists and, you know, eventual winners, you know, with Griffin and that. And, you know, it'll be another fun game to go against another great player.
We're all excited. You know, it's the last game for a lot of us at OU seniors. We get to play the Heisman winner in, you know, the great state of Texas. And I just want to go out with a bang.
The OU defense has had much more than the usual week of preparation to focus on Manziel, but Johnny Football's teammates still aren't sure that's quite enough time to get ready for what he brings to the table.
I don't know if anybody's ready for Johnny. He's one of those players that you see him on tape and you think that you'll be able to stop him by doing one thing, and then when you get out there, it's just he's just one of those players. He's a game changer, and we see it every day in practice. So I think they'll have a hard time keeping up with Johnny.
Now, this Oklahoma coaching staff does have some history of success against a Heisman winner, as they shut down 2000 winner Chris Winkie in Florida State in the 2001 National Championship game. However, they're realistic about taking on Johnny in this 2012 Aggie offense.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to hold. I don't think we're going to shut these guys out.
Welcome back to Countdown to the Cotton Bowl. Texas A&M and Oklahoma will meet tomorrow night here at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington. The two programs have met 16 times when both were members of the Big 12 Conference. Since Kevin Sumlin has become a head coach, he has never faced Oklahoma, but he knows the OU program well. Before Sumlin led the Aggies through their debut season in the Southeastern Conference and led the Houston Cougars to a school record 12-win season and the program's highest finish in the BCS standings, he was an assistant coach at Oklahoma from 2003 to 2007, working for Sooner head coach Bob Stoops, who brought winning back to Oklahoma when he took the job in Norman in 1999.
The culture that Bob has created at Oklahoma is something that you have to be inside of it to really see and understand and feel how it works. And, you know, in a situation where things weren't going very well, and you know, for him to walk in the door and embrace the old, you know, with Coach Switzer, getting him closer to the program, former players, really creating a culture of, you know, we're going to win and we're going to win right now, getting to the national championship in a couple of years.
Sumlin and Stoops have not coached together since Sumlin took the job at U of H in December of 2007, but they are still friends and enjoy seeing each other when their paths cross.
We were in New York for the National Football Foundation because RC was going in, and you know, we get to see each other every year in New York, and we snuck off somewhere around, and we're sitting there in this restaurant, and people walk by and they'd look and do a double take because they couldn't believe we were sitting there, you know, talking.
Kevin and I are great friends. Our wives are great friends. We spent time in New York just a week or two ago. But in the end, once you get to playing, you're playing, you know, and bowl games are a positive thing. So you're in that situation. You're both in good shape. So, you know, it's just something you got to go do.
If the Aggies can win tomorrow night, it will give the program an 11-win season for the first time since 1998. But no matter what the outcome is, you can expect to see the Aggie program continue to move in a positive direction under Sumlin with the Stoops influence.
A lot of people come here and say we do things a lot alike. I wouldn't doubt that. I take that as a compliment. I don't know how many 10-win seasons that he's had in 14 years? It's hard to believe it's been 14 years. So, you know, that's a pretty good run with national championship. You know, I was there. We played for 2, lost a couple of them. But you know that's a tremendous experience for me, not only me but my family too, because of the atmosphere that he created, not just amongst the players, the coaches, but the coaches' families.
The Sumlin versus Stoops game will add another chapter to this rivalry. There have been some very interesting games in the series, both in College Station and Norman. For more on that, we send it back to Darrell Bruffett in the KBTX Sports Center. And Darrell, you've had a chance to see quite a few of these games.
Right you are, John. The 77th Cotton Bowl will be the 31st meeting between the Aggies and the Sooners. The series began back in 1903 with a dozen games taking place before their much anticipated 1993 matchup that had a pair of top 25 teams going head-to-head. The 5th-ranked Aggies taking the field in Norman without 5 players, including running back Greg Hill, who are being investigated by the NCAA for a summer job scandal. The Aggies announcing the suspensions less than 24 hours before the game. Whether or not it was the distraction can be argued, but without Hill, A&M's offensive attack was less than at full strength. And 6 turnovers on the afternoon at Owen Field didn't help matters either. Texas A&M suffering a 44-14 loss, snapping their 22-game regular season winning streak. In the rematch the next season, the Aggies would settle the score with a 36-14 win. Ray Mickens with a pick six in the fourth quarter to seal it. Now, little did anybody know that 2 years later, the Aggies and Sooners would meet again as conference foes. And in 1997, the Aggies would return to Norman with the Big 12 South Division title hanging in the balance. On a cold November night, the Aggies heated things up by lighting up John Blake and the Sooners for 51 points. Dante Hall with 3 touchdowns, while future Lombardi Award-winning linebacker Dat Wynn would return a fumble for another score in a 51-7 Aggie win. It was Texas A&M's first victory in the state of Oklahoma since 1945. In 2002, the Aggies would host the top-ranked Sooners at Kyle Field and would ride the talents of a freshman quarterback named Reggie McNeil. The real deal would throw 4 touchdown passes, including this one to Terrence Murphy from 40 yards out, as Texas A&M posted their first win ever over a team ranked number 1 in the country. In 2003, Dennis Franchione took the Aggies to Norman and suffered not only the worst loss in the series for the Sooners, but one of the worst in the history of Texas A&M football. Oklahoma producing a 77-0 win, starting off a string of 7 straight victories over the Aggies. That domination was stopped in 2010 when Texas A&M posted a 33-19 win. Ryan Tannehill threw for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Cyrus Gray added 122 yards rushing and another score. And the resurgence of the Wrecking Crew defense was felt. The Aggies made 3 separate 4th down stands from the 1-yard line to preserve the win.
Welcome back to Countdown to the Cotton Bowl. The Texas A&M-Oklahoma game has a chance to be one of the best bowl games of the season. The Aggies enter this game ranked number 9. The Sooners are number 11. Both teams are 10-2 on the season and seem to be evenly matched. Both offenses have enjoyed success moving the ball this season. Texas A&M is 3rd nationally, putting up 552 yards per game. Oklahoma is 11th with 505 yards per game. One big question before the season was if the Aggies' up-tempo spread attack would work in the Southeastern Conference. That answer was yes.
They brought a Big 12 offense to the SEC, and they've kind of lit it up. When you look at their number 3 in the nation in total offense, number 3 in the nation in scoring offense, throwing it around and running it, spreading it out like they have, they've handled those SEC defenses fairly well.
Aggie quarterback Johnny Manziel will get a lot of the headlines heading into the game after winning the Heisman Trophy, but the Sooners have a pretty good signal caller of their own. Landry Jones will be making his 50th and final start tomorrow night for the Sooners. For the season, Jones has thrown for 3,989 yards and 29 touchdowns.
He's a really good player, runs their offense very well, plays within the system, doesn't get rattled. Reminds me a lot of A.J. McCarron, the way he runs the offense. Been there forever. They got a really good running back. The offensive line's in the top 3 that we've played this year. And as a group, this wide receiver cast they have is the best core of receivers that we faced all year.
What I would compare him to is our offense, probably in practice more. So we've seen that same type of offense all year. They run the little jerk route with the slot receiver. They try to get good matchups everywhere, and they have good coaches. They have very good coaches.
That coaching starts with Bob Stoops and his brother Mike, who is the OU defensive coordinator. They will have the task of trying to slow down the Aggies' offensive attack. Manziel is the driving force behind that attack, but he has plenty of help producing big plays.
Their offensive line is outstanding. Swope has been a great player for them. Their running backs they can make plays happen. So they're an all-around great offense.
The Texas A&M defense has come up big this season. The Aggies are 30th in the nation in scoring defense, giving up just over 22 points per game. They've recorded 30 sacks on the season, and the Sooners expect to see more pressure on Friday.
They'll move around. They'll do different things with their front. They'll blitz quite a bit, but if you're ready for it, you're prepared. It shouldn't be a big deal, but they're a good team, and they're a good defense. So we're going to have to be ready for them.
One of these teams will get a big win tomorrow night. If that team is Texas A&M, it would put a senior class who's been through a lot during their time in Aggieland in elite company in A&M football history.
The fact that there have been only 3 teams win 11 games or more at A&M, that would put them in the I'm not a historian, but just doing the math, it's one of the best teams in the history of the school.
That'll do it for Countdown to the Cotton Bowl. Thanks for joining us tonight. The Aggies and Sooners get underway pretty quick. Coverage is set to begin at 7 o'clock. The game will be televised on Fox.
And the Aggies and Sooners will be in the national spotlight. That is the only ball game of the day. Aggies looking to make a little bit of history and leave Arlington with their 11th win of the season. From all of us at KBTX, thanks for watching. Good night from Arlington.